Hello, everybody. You know what the fuck going on? You got Pro Pittman. It is time for double PWS Pros Pro Wrestling Show here on 251 Talk Radio. How are you guys doing out there? What's good? Yo. No, for real, what's up? You all right? We are back live on stereo, on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and so forth. How are you guys doing today on this beautiful, beautiful, frosty, chilly November day? I am Pro Pittman. We are going to speak about War Games. Yes, that's right. WWE Survivor Series War Games happened this weekend, and it was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good, I gotta say, for sure. We're going to go over the whole program, guys. The awesome intro, the women's War Games match. Fantastic. Becky Lynch with the super elbow, the leg drop onto Damage Control for the win. A couple cool spots in there, a couple, whatever, hiccups, but overall, I was impressed by the girls. Great job. We get the awesome story that's going on with Roman, Sammy, and Jay, and Kevin Owens. Will Sammy betray the bloodline tonight? Or will he stay true to being the honorary Uso? We got AJ Styles and Finn Balor tonight having a great match. Good old Ronda Rousey and Shotzi. We'll get into that. And of course, the triple threat match between Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory. What an ending. Who saw that coming? I didn't. I thought I was shocked. I think we're turning around with Austin Theory. I think we're going to turn it into something that's actually worth watching. And we're getting rid of all the bad remnants of what Vince was doing. And of course, that awesome main event, that embrace at the end of the event. Amazing, guys. The Bloodline and Sami Zayn are doing amazing long-term booking. This storytelling is awesome. It's what we need on our modern-day wrestling. Big shouts out to what you guys doing out there. Number love. We are here, guys. You feel me? So once again, it's 251 Talk Radio. I am Pro Pittman, double PWS, Pros Pro Wrestling Show. We are doing our WWE Survivor Series War Games review. You feel me? Follow us on stereo, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere else you get your podcast content. We're just starting out here at 251 Talk Radio, but we're definitely growing, and we have unlimited content to give you guys, and we're not going nowhere no time soon. So sit back, relax, twist some up. Hopefully it's the gas, the 93 Premium. Have a cold beverage. You know what I'm saying? Get right, relax, and let's review WWE Survivor Series War Games. First and foremost, that intro with Ozzy, yes. I've said before, if you listen to the podcast, that I think War Pigs may be one of the best songs in years they've used as a pay-per-view song, like straight up. And having Ozzy there too, looking good at his age, singing along to the song, like hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We start our show with the women's the women's War Games. I was looking at something that reminded me of Hell in a Cell. The War Games match. Now, let me say, you hear a lot of people saying like, oh, well, this War Games or these War Games matches there's nothing special about these. These are just like the other ones we've seen. Well, guess what? I truly have not been watching NXT over the last 3 or 4 years. I stopped watching NXT right around the time that Balor and Enzo and Cass actually got called up, right around that time. Old Black and Gold shit, pre-War Games. And War Games, obviously, I'm familiar with from my childhood, watching them do it in the early 90s, late 80s. Those matches, Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen, things like that, WCW. But I haven't seen War Games in a very, very long time. So what I saw tonight was very impressive because I wasn't judging it from the aspect of, oh, well, they did this on NXT or, oh, they did this over here. I just thought it was great. I'm looking forward to seeing what can happen next year. So I am definitely a fan of the War Games match, the whole gimmick. It's just it's pretty cool. You got to learn the rules and figure out how it all works. But once it gets going, it's pretty awesome for sure. So we get Becky Lynch coming out first. Everyone slowly comes out. Bianca comes out. Bianca will start the match. She's going to lead the charge into it. Nikki Cross gets on top of the cage. She is playing her old role so well. For those who haven't seen her as Nikki Cross and you only know her as Nikki ASH, this is how she was back in NXT. I do know that much, and I'm glad they're bringing that back. Damage Control comes out. Dakota Kai will start the match with Bianca. I feel so bad. I was on my SmackDown review. I couldn't really get Dakota's name out. I don't know why I was confusing her with like Kairi saying some random shit. My apologies, Dakota Kai. Because boy, let me tell you, in this match tonight, you deserve man. You deserve some reprieve. Someone twist her up some gas, get her a cold beverage. Someone give her a massage. She took all the bumps tonight, including that finishing bump, which was insane. So Dakota definitely put in work tonight. She has, that kick in the corner she has that looks super, super great on Bianca. They go in, they start doing their thing. The camera angle they had when she did that kick to Bianca's face was great. They had the camera right outside the cage, We get Bianca tossing her into the cage until eventually Io comes in. Io does this awesome missile drop kick. I've been very impressed with Io Sky. Like she's so good at what she does, and just her style, the way her facial expressions, even her attitude during her entrance. You know what I'm saying? Like she definitely has it down packed. So shouts out Io. We get Asuka coming in afterwards. Bianca and Asuka go wild on them for a little bit. Eventually, we get Nikki Cross coming in. She comes in and throws all the weapons in. I'm talking about kendo sticks and trash can tops. Just throws a whole bunch of them into the ring. They all go wild. Alexa finally comes in and almost gets tripped up by a camera angle by the camera guy. She looked back at him like, motherfucker, we gotta watch out, bro. I'm a professional, But she go in and do her thing. She gets a nice drop kick into the can, at the top of the can. Eventually, while this is going on, Nikki climbed up to the top, as Damage Control was hitting Bianca with kendo sticks. And Nikki just up there just kicking it, just watching everyone go crazy and fight and shit. Eventually, Nikki jumps off the motherfucking cage, jump up the top of the cage on everyone. It hits a hard landing too, but it was the first big spot of the night for sure. We get Bayley coming out and puts the ladder in and the table in the ring. They put Bianca with the table in between the rings. They pin her in there. Eventually Mia Yim Meechin comes in, throws all the cans in there. Everyone pairs off, starts fighting. They build to a fall where everyone's up there and they're doing this like consecutive superplex thing where there was like 4 superplexes back to back. Pretty cool. Um, eventually Rhea comes in, ready to rock shit out. By now it's just fucking pandemonium. It's insane. The whole match is just they're just everyone's spot here, spot there, boom, 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 boom. I cannot do it justice. There's no way I'll be able to recap it all. Eventually, Io's she's gonna do a springboard or something. She's running back and forth like 7 times just to hit a drop kick. It was just crazy. Eventually, Becky comes in and the match officially starts. We get the ding, 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 and you get the War Games. The match is officially started. Something like that, The announcer was doing her best announcer growl there. The War Games. Becky goes wild when she comes in. She faces off with Bayley. And think about it, that's one of the main like 4 horsemen like beefs we haven't truly seen. And even every feud that Bayley had where she was, the hugging Bayley was cool. But to see them all revisited now with Bayley's new attitude is just great. I love Bayley right now. She's the best. Eventually Becky faces off with Rhea. And they're going at it back and forth, boom, 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 boom. And then eventually she switches over and Oscar popping up. Oscar hits it with the poison mist. Goes in Rhea's face. She's blinded. She goes down. She goes down. While this is going on, there's some more melee going on. Io climbs to the top of this cage. And I've been told she does this every War Games, but I was looking forward to it. The over the moon moonsault, as they call it, off the top of the cage into all the girls. That's the second high spot of the night. Once with Nikki Cross, now Io Sky jumping to the sky with a moonsault. That looked great, for sure. Eventually we get a spot where Nikki handcuffs Alexa, and then they have this weird try to exchange where they're trying to fight each other, and then Alexa eventually handcuffs herself. It looks weird because Alexa's wrist is so tiny she could pull her hand right out. The whole thing clearly didn't go the way I was supposed to, but whatever. She eventually puts her in an electric chair drop and drops Nikki onto the back of a can, but really she hit most of the can. I don't know. We get Rhea with Mia on her shoulders, runs in, puts her through a ladder. Right, a ladder. It's going down. Becky and Bianca are on the other ring. They eventually go crazy on damage control. We get 2 KODs. 2 counts. Eventually, the ending spot. And boy, let me tell you, this is crazy. Of course, Becky. Man, Becky's fucking cheese, bro. She gets 2 tables, puts Io and Dakota on both the tables. She climbs to the top of the cage. This is the 3rd jump from the top of the cage in one match, guys. These girls were not fucking playing. And Becky jumps off and does the leg drop onto both of them. And boy, her thigh ass area just boom landed all in Dakota. She tucked that shit. Man, it was crazy. And as this is going on, Bianca threw Bayley into the cage with a KOD. Becky rolls over from the leg drop, pins Dakota 1, 2, 3. And let me tell you, for that to be my first War Games match to watch all the way through, I thought it was impressive. I thought the girls, it was really cool to see how well they all meshed and how they all did their things. And it was just, you got to go back and watch it, especially if you're a fan of women's wrestling. Please, this is just they went all out, left it all out there. So definitely a good start to the pay-per-view. And I was interested in what was to come. We get a backstage segment with the tribal chief Roman Reigns. We get Paul Heyman in the back with the 2 belts shining. He's glistening. He's looking maniacal. He's looking, mischievous as he always does, like Mr. Burns. Excellent, Smithers. Jay comes in and tells Roman what's going on with Sammy from last night about him talking to Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens telling him to strike first. Roman says, Jay, I'll take care of this. I'll be able to tell where his loyalties lie. They're going to see what's up, basically. Jay's like, all right, cool. Now I'm very interested to see what's going to happen later on when Sammy and Roman have their face-to-face before the match. We get a quick recap of AJ and Finn showing what's been going on with them. They do all the recapping without actually saying Bullet Club or New Japan. And I'm getting worried again. I'm like, okay. God, I wish there's no way to tell the story without you telling the fucking story. Just let us know what's really going on. But I'll be pleasantly surprised in about 20 seconds. Finn comes out with this dark black charcoal obsidian mask on that just looked like some Resident Evil shit. It was wild. AJ comes out with this gas mask on, the club gas mask. You know what I'm saying? It was all right. They got their pay-per-view shit on. They put their shit on today. Phone on grave. They threw that shit on. So Michael Cole was telling the story of these two as they're both entering. And would you believe? Michael Cole starts telling you, well, yeah, Finn Balor was the original member of, the original leader of Bullet Club. And then AJ Styles came in after that. I'm like, what? He said Bullet Club on WWE TV. And I thought that was copyrighted. Which is why you never actually heard it. But apparently not. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Bullet Club, they're in Japan doing this. He told the whole story, and if after AJ came Kenny Omega, and after that, that was the last leg of Bullet Club even being interesting or cool, if you ask me. Shouts out Jay White and all, but still. But yes, he mentioned Bullet Club on WWE TV. It was nice to hear these barriers finally breaking down. First thing I noticed, Finn is rocking the purple and black Jordan 1s. Okay, Finn. He got the high top Jordan 1s on. All right, okay. I see what the fuck going on. That Grape Street crippin' lately. Phone him. So, they get into the match. It's a great match. Obviously the crowd is tired. They're super dead after what they just saw with the women, but they're into it. And I think it was one of those things where it's like everyone knows that AJ and Finn are amazing. It would just people just sat back and got to enjoy it. Almost like in Japan, how it's kind of quiet until a big spot happens and they cheer. But they're not just making noise the whole entire time. During the match, you hear Finn's getting beat up, pow, and he's like, "Come on, AJ, we're boys." I'm so happy that Finn was able to turn himself around, from what they did to him over the last couple of years. I mean, God, rest assured. You know what I'm saying? But Finn has definitely been falling into this role and, loving being a heel, We're getting the Prince Devitt, good old Fergal, you feel me? So I love it. They go back and forth. Finn's working an abdominal stretch. And you know me. I love my flippy shit, my cold reds, my avalanche, just that and the third. A top flight, Lucha Brothers match. At the same time, I love seeing someone work a nice abdominal stretch. Can we get a simple, backbreaker, atomic drop? Yes. Classic. You know what I'm saying? So it was nice seeing the abdominal stretch being worked. The whole time AJ has been working on Finn's legs. So eventually he won't be able to climb to the top and deliver the coup de grace. You feel me? Working the legs. Eventually, Dominic pulls AJ down from the ring. He falls, which causes the melee from the outside with the OC in Judgment Day. They eventually go all the way into the crowd. You know what I'm saying? At this moment, I finally noticed West Side Gun. Now, guys, if you haven't noticed, I'm a huge fan of professional wrestling, and I'm a huge fan of hip hop. I'm involved in both worlds, whether it's podcasting through professional wrestling or being a rapper myself. I got a lot of material out there, but that's a whole other conversation. I've been noticing that West Side's been popping up at all these events, AEW and WWE, front row, right there, playing that bag, paying it just to get like right there. And you can't miss West Side because we having all that shit on. He got that jewelry on. The shit was looking crazy. And I just appreciate that he's a true wrestling fan to where he got to the point financially and money wise to where fuck yeah, he can just travel and go to big wrestling shows. That's what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to fucking Miami to watch fucking Royal Rumble. That's crazy. I think it's super cool that West Side is there. They haven't even brought him on, and no, he actually spit for Daniel Garcia when he had that Ring of Honor World Championship match. Hey yo, boo 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 boo. So shouts out West Side Gun. You know what I'm saying? And all my hip hop wrestling fans. You feel me? It's definitely my niche. So shouts out to all the brothers who like wrestling. Tell them about 251 Talk Radio, where you'll be at home at with this wrestling shit. Fun and grave. So back to the match. After War Games, I realized like after watching the War Games match, I'm like, does this regular match seem boring? Like, no, it was just like after all the pandemonium and 3 jumps from the top of the cage and tables and ladders and garbage cans, stretches and simple sleeper holds seemed kind of, but you had to appreciate it for what it was. These were 2 greats, 2 future Hall of Famers, having a great match, which maybe later on looked at as a classic match. I mean, it wasn't as good as Finn and Edge, which was insane, but it's definitely nice to see them 2 together doing this. I would love to see it again at a WrestleMania or something like that. Finn tries the Styles Clash, doesn't get it. We get a double Pele kick from both of them for a small break. Eventually, we get the backflip neck breaker by AJ, which is great. How he does that flip and grabs you, and he flips and he lands with you in a neck breaker, and he drops you in it. Amazing. They eventually go back and forth, having a great match. Here and there, and then eventually it turns into AJ getting thrown over in between the ropes, ducking a shot from Finn, hitting him. Finn falls back. AJ jumps up for the phenomenal forearm for the 1, 2, 3, and AJ Styles is your winner in this match today. Like I said, amazing match. I just was probably just dead tired from watching the War Games match, and just felt like it was just more into it than I think we wanted to see in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is. Once again, I am Pro Pittman, guys. We are here live and direct on stereo. How are you guys doing out there? Is everybody good? What the fuck is going on? If you are checking 251 Talk Radio on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Google Podcasts, whatever the case, make sure you come here to Stereo. You dig? That's where we record all of the podcasts live. The broadcast is live, guys, on Stereo. So make sure you follow Pro Pittman here on the Stereo app. Go download it if you haven't gotten it yet. The awesome part about being here live is you can leave me messages while we're actually recording the show. I can play them back and respond to them accordingly as we're doing, the show. So number love to you guys. While we're on a small break, I want to give a big shout out to the guy, Lord Shamik in the building. What it do, family? Number love to you. Peace to the guy. Everybody out there and now why? What the fuck going on? The guys in Medina do a meeting, you know what I'm saying? Number love to you, guys. I hope you're having a good one. Hope you're blessed. We got a quick message from Lord Shamik, the guy on 251 Talk Radio.
Peace to the God. Wisdom build and destroyed. All being born in knowledge cipher.
Peace.
What's going on, God? We manifesting that knowledge today on this great Monday. What it do, King? I saw you in here. Man, I haven't been involved in wrestling since a tiny tot. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Superfly Snooker. I don't know nothing too much about this new wrestling, even though my sons are into it. But what's going on with you, King? I just wanted to let my voice be heard, let it know that I see you out here. Peace.
Peace to the God, Lord Shamik in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wrestling right now is in a good spot. It's pretty cool. A lot of the legends, their kids are wrestling. So Jimmy's daughter, Tamina, is wrestling, and a lot of the people back in the day, their kids are leading the charge right now. And with that, you get my generation who was raised with the late 80s, 90s Attitude Era. We all left in the early 2000s for a little bit and came back, later on and had to do research and figure out what we missed out on. But, now wrestling is populated by cats my age who was raised with all that great shit. So they got a respect for it. They got a reverence for the legends and, and the greats. So they do it in the name of that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a good time to get back into it. It is WrestleMania season. Vince McMahon, well, not officially yet, but Vince McMahon has stepped down from the WWE amidst some controversy. And Triple H has taken over WWE creative and his wife. So Stephanie McMahon. So the whole product has changed now. You don't have 80-year-old Vince telling us what he thinks is cool anymore, and putting on horrible Monday Night Raw. We have an official ex-wrestler, a Hall of Famer, world champion who was in charge of the creative. So we're getting wrestling that's, not insulting adults who love wrestling, So definitely a good time to get into it. Or you don't got to watch it at all. You can just watch PPWS, Pro Pittman's Talk Radio. We're talking about pro wrestling, you feel me? So if you guys don't want to watch the show, you can always listen to me and I'll tell you what you're missing out. Number love, guys, that are coming through the show. We do appreciate you. We're going to get back to the recap, guys. Sadly, next we have Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Oh my God, guys. I know. Same thing. Yeah. First, let's recap the match, then we'll talk about Ronda for a quick second. First and foremost, their makeup sucks. Ronda and Shayna are coming out with that dreadful makeup on their eyes. I'm going to get through as fast as I can. My daughter herself even said, their makeup is horrible. My 5-year-old said that. Come on, guys. I really wanted Shotzi to win. Knew it wasn't going to happen, but please, it's something. Ronda catches her for a reversal. She's being horrible. Her crowd talks are so bad. I can beat you with my feet, what she says. Shut the fuck up, Ronda. Oh, my God. Only thing I like is those super sidekicks she be doing with her, where she might hurt somebody with one day. She's so bad when she plays to the crowd. They eventually go outside. Shotzi jumps into a big group of fans. It's supposed to be quote unquote fans. She jumps on the Rondi and they do this big old splash press into a group of fans into the crowd, which clearly are developmental people just sitting in a spot where they were told you're gonna get jumped on, But it did look pretty cool. We got a top rope judo throw by Ronda, which didn't look bad. We get the Piper's Pit. Eventually she goes, "This one's for you, baby," pointing to someone in the crowd, and puts that weak ass armbar on, which she doesn't even extend. And if you've ever seen a real fucking armbar, you would know that doesn't hurt what she's doing. Okay. All right. Shotzi loses, of course. Shayna gets involved. Whatever, right? The match was dismal. It was dreadful. It was the worst match on the card. Did not need to be on a Survivor Series for sure. I wouldn't want to see that motherfucker on a day one or Extreme Rules or a horror show. Nothing. It was horrible. Ronda has been sticking up the joint since she came back. That first run, Ronda, I will tell you, the excitement of seeing you and the whole idea of, oh, snap, Ronda Rousey's here and she wants to wrestle. It was exciting. It was cool. It was interesting. Even then, your weak ass smirk you be having is just so fucking lame that weekend. Sure, God. And I say all this as a huge Ronda Rousey fan. I was watching her in the UFC. I saw how awesome, how natural she was there, how beautiful she was there. Amazing. She got her ass whooped twice, which I was watching live when that shit happened. It was devastating. And then she was gone. She came to WWE, and then she's doing her impression of a professional wrestler. Just like I thought Pat McAfee was doing an impression of a commentator. It was just, not as bad as Ronda, Pat, for sure, but whatever the case, that's a whole other story. Since she's come back, clearly just doesn't want to breach a contract by Fox and WWE. Fox wants her there because they're dealing with UFC and they think she has star power. So put Ronda on our TV and make her the champion, please. That's the deal. But Ronda does not give a fuck about this business anymore. You can see she does not care. She said all the fans were marks and shit basically a couple years ago, right? Then came back and expect us to care about her. She doesn't know if she's a heel or a face. That weak ass smirk, that shitty ass makeup, the armbar where she won't extend at all. I get it. Yeah, you don't want to hurt no one, but work the armbar. Make it a working armbar, not a fucking, like literally what the people do. That's not an armbar. You have to pull the arm, break the hook, extend the arm for it to even hurt in the first place. And they tap when their arm's hooked. She's been doing that from the beginning. Bro, like, that's not a fucking armbar. It's not an armbar. Yeah, trust me, I feel the same way. Please drop the belt. Give it to Shayna. Just give it to Shayna. Leave after WrestleMania. Don't come back. You are ruining the women's division. The homeboy JD from New York, shouts out, said that she is the worst women's champion of the SmackDown the SmackDown Championship. He's correct. I highly agree. Big shouts out to JD too, as well, for real. Jesus. Okay, that's my TED talk about Ronda Rousey. I'm sorry, I just can't stand her, and I want to stand her. I really want to. And for a long time, I would like fast forward through her segments because it was just bad. Her and Liv and all that bullshit. But now I have to watch it. That's how much I love y'all. Oh boy. So next we get another segment between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Sami and Roman are backstage, still with Paul Heyman back there with the excellent Smithers face. Roman asks Sami, so were you talking to KO yesterday? And Sami didn't lie to him. I mean, you couldn't lie. You're on fucking TV. There was a camera there, so we saw. They think we're so stupid, but whatever. It's TV. I love trying to keep kayfabe as much as I possibly can, but certain things, like, come on, guys. But whatever. Sami tells him, yes, I was talking to KO. I mean, really, he was talking to me. I was just listening. And he goes, well, why'd you lie to Jay? And he told him I didn't want to, distract him for the match, the advantage match. I don't want him worried about that, basically. He told Roman that KO said that he should turn before they do. Roman says, Sami, this is my family. This is my blood. I need you to look me in the eyes. Are you with us, or will you stab us in the back? Sami, getting very emotional, says, I will not let you down tonight. Any night. Sami says, only 5 people are allowed in this locker room, and I'm one of them. And that's a big deal. It's not lost on me, he says. Sami is great. He's amazing. And when they turn on Sami, oh, it's going to be the worst thing in the world. Oh, God. He says, bloodline. Roman gives his best Tuco Salamanca stare. Bro. Tells Sami, let's do it, and hugs. but he also has a face on the other side of the hug, like you can't trust him. What's going to happen? Next, we have our triple threat match for the United States Championship between Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, and the defending champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Bobby comes out first, then we get Theory, and then Seth. Whoa. The crowd was on one tonight with that shit. They was loud for that. They know we love a good sing-along. I'll say it all the time. You haven't had fun till you go to an AEW show and sing along with Judas. It's the best. Eventually, they're all out. Bobby just clotheslines Theory right away like a little boy. Just knocks him right out the ring. And then it's him and Seth. They do the thing. I won't recap the entire match because there was a lot going on. Bobby runs Theory into Seth eventually. Theory does a referee pullout to break up a count the same way that Bobby ruined Theory's cash in. Eventually, Theory cracks Lashley and Rollins with the steps. He grabs the steps and hits them both with it. Rollins goes wow with both of his dives, which don't look the best, but he still did them. He's doing his dives. We get a Rollins pedigree for 2 count. Rollins misses the Phoenix Splash, gets tossed out. Then Theory hits the rolling blockbuster. The count is broken by a Seth splash we don't see out of nowhere. Theory is getting ready to pin Bobby, and boom, Seth breaks it up with a splash. Eventually, Bobby Lashley gets both of these guys in the hurt lock. It looked ridiculous, but it was also like, oh shit. I remember going, oh. like it wouldn't, can't hurt both guys. Anyways, but it was still pretty cool to see. Bobby's a big guy. I've seen Bobby in person. He's a really big motherfucker, no doubt. Shouts out Big Bobby. Eventually Bobby's leaning over and Theory's getting up and Seth runs, like vaults off of Bobby. There's a stomp on Theory. Really, really cool. So the ending of this match, guys, who saw this coming? It was so awesome. We get the superplex on Theory into the Falcon Arrow. As Theory is up in the air for Falcon Arrow, Bobby Lashley comes in and spears Seth Rollins. They both fall, Seth and Theory, that is, from the Falcon Arrow that was happening, which is in a suplex. Theory falls on top of Seth Rollins, pins him 1, 2, 3. In Theory is your new United States champion. Who saw that coming down? Yo, let me tell you, that shit blew me away when it happened. I was definitely not expecting that, and I popped. As well as they show, the crowd out there was fucking blown away too. I mean, come on. That was definitely something that I wasn't expecting. I think they did a good job at laying that out, man. Come on. Can't go wrong. Jeez. This is Double PWS, guys. 251 Talk Radio, Pros Pro Wrestling Show. Not PPWS. It's Double PWS. You feel me? We are here, guys. We are in the middle of our WWE Survivor Series War Games review. We are at our main event. Hope you guys are having a good time out there. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you share this podcast to a fellow pro wrestling fan, a fellow black pro wrestling fan. It's a weird niche group of brothers who hide and they're not outside. Let's come outside, guys. We all love wrestling. We all grew up with wrestling and we want to talk about it. Our opinions may be the same. Come to Stereo and tell me that I'm wrong. Leave me a message and we'll have a conversation. I can invite you to the panel. You can be on the show. That's how Stereo works, guys. Please come on through. I am Pro Pittman. This is 251 Talk Radio, Double PWS, Pros Pro Wrestling Show. You feel me? Yo. Let's get to our last segment, the main event of the evening. We have the men's War Games match. The Bloodline, Sami Zayn, the Usos, Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns against the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus and Ridge and Butch with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. This is going to be a good old Donnybrook, a slobber knocker from the joint. You already know from the jump, this is going to be insane. I will do my best to recap points here and there, but obviously going move for move would be impossible. I would actually miss watching wrestling. That's the worst part about it. Like taking notes while you're watching wrestling is so different from what I'm used to because I have to take my eyes off the wrestling for a second to type, and it's a lot to watch it all, especially watching it live. And then I want to get a review out to you guys fast, so I don't want to actually have to watch wrestling and fast forward it and make it an extra hour long because I want to get everything. I don't got to say everything that happened, but you guys get the gist, and hopefully you've seen it too. So we're all kind of just going through it together. But here we are at the main event of the evening. Roman tells Jay before they walk out that he's seen everything he needed to see when he talked to Sammy earlier. They're gonna deal with this. KO comes out first, then Drew, then the Brutes. It's Fortnite. It's so cringe, Michael. I'm sorry. Oh, I hate it. I'll deal with banger after banger after banger after banger. I don't mind that. But when Michael does it, it's Fortnite, or it's boss time, or it's time for the raid. Oh my god. I can't stand those entrance things that you don't got him say them no more. I'm sure Triple H is making you do it, but whatever the case, Michael, you're cool with me. The fight starts with Butch and Jay. They do a standoff for almost a minute. They get into it. Butch goes into those awesome finger breaks, which I love so much. They go back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, Ridge comes in and they beat up Jay basically for like 3 minutes. They work Jay with consecutive corner splashes. They double team him. The next person was going to come in on the Bloodline side. Remember, the Brawling Brutes team has the advantage from last night's SmackDown. Jimmy is getting ready to come in to go help Jay. It's his turn. But Roman stops him as he's sitting in a chair in the cage. Stops him. And he sends Sammy in. This is another part of the story, guys, that we're telling here. You and Jay don't get along, Sammy. You know what? Y'all ain't figure this shit out. Go in there. Go help him. So Sammy runs in. They have a second where Jay says, basically, I'm watching you, Sammy. I love how Jay just been doubling down on the gangster role, the thug role. You know what I'm saying? When he said, take that shirt off. Take it off. Take it off. I love it. Jay been wilding out. He's a pit bull for sure. Eventually, Drew comes in. McIntyre works both of them. Drew says, you hear, I'm feeling pretty, you see. He tells him, Jay's been getting worked this whole match. I mean, he's from the jump. He's been getting his ass beat. We get a Future Shock DDT on Sammy to the kip up by Drew McIntyre. Whose kip up is more impressive? Drew's kip up or Orange Cassidy's kip up with the hands in the pockets? Let me know. Jimmy eventually does come in. He brings 3 tables in with him. Sammy and Jay almost get to fighting. KO eventually comes in as Drew is giving out Glasgow kisses to everyone. Glasgow. He's giving them to everybody. The headbutts, that is, guys. If you're not aware what that move is. KO starts hitting the Usos with chairs. We get the cannonball, excuse me, into Jay, which goes right into that awesome swanton that KO does. He puts Jimmy through a table. KO is not fucking playing. Eventually, Solo Sikoa comes in, the enforcer. We get the clothesline from hell from Solo. And like I told y'all, from hell, anything. Spear from hell, clothesline from hell, shoulder charge from hell. If you do that flip, it's from hell. From Hades. We get a Samoan drop on Ridge. I love seeing the Samoan drop done by these brothers, They're keeping that lineage up, that heritage up. And it just looks cool how well they do that move. All the way back to their pops, Rikishi. You feel me? So, eventually, KO and Solo end up in between the ring together, and they eventually go at it. He gets thrown into the cage. Solo does, and no sells it, and goes wow. You know what I'm saying? He got the doing it. You know the haka screams ah. You know what I'm saying? He's a savage. He's wild. He don't give a fuck right now. He no sells 2 super kicks by KO. And then backdrops KO on the steel. And KO sold that drop. You heard that shit. Yee. Steel is not comfortable. If you ever had to sleep in jail before, you know. Solo eventually goes at it with Drew McIntyre. Sheamus eventually comes in. Sammy's trying to hold the door. Sheamus goes in. He comes in, goes crazy. We get an avalanche of white noise. And then eventually Roman comes in. And the official War Games match has started. All men get to their feet. We have the Bloodline in one ring. We have the Brutes team in another ring. And they just go at it. They collide like a gang fight. Like, you know, Gangs New York. Bow, they all go at it. My favorite movie, by the way. Eventually, you know, Roman knocks everyone out. But then eventually the whole Bloodline team is grabbed by all the Brutes. We get a 5-on-5 beats of the Baldwin. 25 beats, guys, on each person. Over 100 beats were beaten on the Bloodline. We get a spear eventually. You know, he takes his spear, Solo does. He takes his spear for Roman, you know. And then eventually we get a spear on Sheamus. Butch saves. Butch ducks. Jay catches Sammy with a kick. And the whole crowd's like calling him asshole, you know, asshole. Jay's like, what the fuck, bro? You did that on purpose? Jimmy did. And Jay didn't give a fuck. Like, yo, man, come on, he was in the way, whatever. We get an avalanche 1D, and then Butch saves it. We get a spear on Sheamus through a table. The spinning Solo on Drew McIntyre. A stunner to Solo. Roman breaks it up. This is getting wow, guys. It is going down. The crowd is going wow, for sure. I was all like, you know, this match is heating up. KO eventually stands off with Roman. That's the feud eventually. You know, they're saying that KO wants Roman. That's why he's here. You know, can't believe what you've been doing to my cousin. Sorry, my brother, Sammy. You know, it's me and you right now. They go back and forth. You know, we get a Superman punch on KO. We get a ooh. He's going to go for the spear. But eventually we get a super kick on Roman by KO to an awesome pop-up power bomb, which was KO's finishing move when he first was brought up that he hit John Cena with. And you don't see it a lot. I like the pop-up power bomb. I'm actually not a fan of him doing the stunner, but that's a whole other, you know, story. Eventually, KO and Sammy have their standoff. And boy, this is what we've been waiting for. If you notice all this time, they haven't had KO and Sammy really interacting. During the Crown Jewel event, he wasn't even there. During all this bloodline stuff, Sammy and KO have been separate because that will be the big moment when Sammy chooses either KO or the bloodline. Which one will it be? They have their standoff. KO eventually blocks a super kick from Jey Uso. At this moment, Sammy drops down and hits him with the low blow to KO. He tells Roman he's going to finish it. Puts KO in the corner, hits him with the haluva kick. KO falls into Sammy's arms onto his chest. Heartbreaking. He looks up at him like, how could you do this? What's going on? Eventually, Sammy offers up the sacrifice to Jey Uso. He lays KO right where Jey can hit him with the splash. 1, 2, 3. The Bloodline has won this match. Oh, guys. What a main event. The best part of this whole thing Roman eventually gets up, looks at Sammy and realizes what he did, and gives him a huge hug. After that, Jey Uso comes in out of nowhere and hugs Sammy, finally embraces him, talking about, that's the fuck I'm talking about. They are family now. He is Sammy Uso. Jey, after all these weeks of not trusting Sammy, of not wanting to deal with him, finally embraces him. And let me tell you, that was a moment. That was real deal. I know these are the heels. You're supposed to be booing these guys, but come on, that was awesome. All of this for Sami Zayn. All of it to eventually be taken away, because you know damn well something's going to happen to where the bloodline has to get rid of Sammy. And that's going to be one of the biggest turns. He will be the biggest babyface in all of wrestling at that moment. I don't think he'll be the one to take Roman's belt from him, but still, this is a story, guys. This is the way to do it. They throw up the ones, and the match is over. That was WWE Survivor Series War Games, guys. War Games, guys. What'd you guys think of the show? What'd you guys think of the show? Once again, this is 251 Talk Radio, double PWS, Pros Pro Wrestling Show. I am Pro Pittman, musician, podcaster, youth activist, mentor from Wisconsin, Illinois area. Check me out on Spotify, Apple Music, as far as my music too. If you want to get in tune with the hip hop, everything I do, catch a show of mine, play some guitar, we'll jam it out. I am outside. Book me for your next event. But right now, we are talking about WWE Survivor Series War Games. What you guys think? Was it a great pay-per-view? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Shouts out Simon. You feel me? I'll give it an up, 100%. I was surprised at that Austin Theory win. I mean, Ronda was dismal as I expected, so no surprise there. AJ and Finn did a great job. It was only 5 matches, takeover style. Triple H is here, guys. He is here. We can't expect him to fix all the problems that Vince did, that Vince and Bruce did and caused in one little quarter. Give him some time. But as we see, slowly but surely, this product is getting better and better and better. Worth watching, worth recapping, and worth enjoying with my people here on 251 Talk Radio. Yeah. For all of my listeners here on Spotify and YouTube, number love. Everyone on stereo who are hearing us broadcast live, thank you so much for being here and hanging out in the show. Shouts out Laura Schmeet, the guy for stopping by earlier and showing some love. We are here, guys. We'll be back later on today with Men's Mental Health Monday with Vinny the Great. You know what's going on. It is Monday. It is time to get in tune. 251 Talk Radio will be here for you guys later on today. We also will be doing our AEW Dynamite review on Thursday and our SmackDown review this weekend. We will keep it going. Pro wrestling doesn't stop, so neither will we. Once again, I am Pro Pittman, guys. This is 251 Talk Radio. You're listening to double PWS, Pro Wrestling Show. This was our WWE Survivor Series War Games recap. You know, we started off with a piece and we always ended with a peace.